Hey y'all, your style as a nomad, as a van dweller is really going to depend on what's important to you. What do you want out of your life? Just because you're a nomad does not mean that you have to go out on BLM land and park for 14 days at a time and that's all you do. There are so many options available to you, and there's so many different styles of being a van dweller, living in your car, living in your vehicle. Now, everybody has a different reason for wanting to do this kind of lifestyle. You have your reason. You know what your reason would be. And I believe that a lot of people, the reason is because they just either can't afford rent or don't want to spend all of their rent money on to a landlord. And they just see it going down the tubes constantly, and they're not having a good time in life. So a lot of people really want this type of lifestyle. There's so many options and different styles of being a nomad. It really depends on what's important to you. Now, you might become a nomad and then you think that it's going to be one way. But after a year or so, you're thinking, I really think I want to do it this way. So maybe in some cases, you don't even know what's important to you yet. You've been miserable sitting in a bricks and sticks and you want to know, what am I going to do next? What's the next step in life for me? You could be young, you could be retired, you could be middle-aged. If you can earn a living out here or do a digital type job, and they're out there. I have friends who are doing that, you could actually live in a van. Think about that. You could actually live in a van. Let's not fool ourselves. I'm not going to fool myself. There are a lot of you who tell me, I'm in a house, I'm happy to be in a house, but I watch your channel because I enjoy watching what you do in your lifestyle, but I have no plans to be a van dweller. Yeah, I have no plans to be a nomad. I have no plans to be a traveler, a day tripper, whatever you want to call this lifestyle. But I thought about this and I thought, what is important to me? Because I'm always asking these questions of myself so that I can get a good base. Like, is everything going okay? Do the self-talk, is everything going okay? Are you happy with the way things are going? What do you want next out of life? Well, for right now, for me, I am just ecstatic to be going to the gym every day. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm building some muscles. I'm getting a good base and I'm building muscle. I'm replacing fat with muscle. I don't have a lot of fat, but yeah, I do. Back here, we all know, we got this going on. I know. So right now, the gym is important to me. And where am I going to find a gym? I'm going to find it in a city, in a town, in a city. I don't like small towns. I've already mentioned the small town thing. Somebody asked me about a small town. Let me just divert just for a second. Let me tell you something. I think this did kind of affect my idea, and I do believe this is the way small towns go. A lot of you go like, we'll go the byways and see this and that in a small town. Well, I don't always trust small towns. Forgive me if you live in a small town. I know that there are very honest people around. But in my early 20s, I did live in a small town. And I worked for a large corporation. I really did. It was a well-known international corporation. They were builders of nuclear plants, electronics, things like that. Well, their project was in a small town, and I went ahead and moved there. So I was an engineering secretary. So I had a small apartment there, and in the winter, a car came around and he hit me. He slid right into me. Well, when the police came to make a report, guess who got cited? Moi. I was an outsider. He was an insider. I got the citing for it. Well, my state farm insurance didn't buy it, right? So they did a little investigating, and yeah, that they made his insurance company pay, because what happened is the sheriff or the policeman, whatever, he was probably friends with him. He knew him. He didn't know me. So I don't always trust small towns. They all kind of know each other, and they're not going to side with me, even though I'm not doing anything wrong. So I don't like to go those byways into the small cities very much, small towns, because, yeah, well, I've already mentioned that. A lot of them have those speed guns, and they're just, oh, you were going 2 miles over. Whoops. Now, let me write you a ticket. And that's how they make money. I don't trust them. I probably get slack for that, but please don't judge me. I've already been judged, by that. So that's just me. It might not be you, but that's me. Okay, so I need like a decent sized city, a decent sized town to find my Planet Fitness and find my gyms. That way I can find stores. But that's right now, that's what's important to me. Will I go out into, will I, oh, it's a fire department. It sort of looks like an ambulance, but, oh, they're pulling in. Oh, now there's a fire truck meeting them. Something going on in that. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. So, but that's what's important to me. Now, what is important to you? I made a list of things that could be important to you. But I was going to mention, it doesn't mean I'll never go camping. This summer, I'm going to go camping big time. Yes, I'm going to go up north in the northern part of Arizona and go into Utah and, all around there. And yes, I'm going to be going camping and boondocking. Don't worry. It's just right now I'm in a city, and this is where I am, just kind of waiting for it to warm up. Okay, so, but some of you, what would be important to you? It might be nature, just nature. There are some people, I know a lot of channels and Nomad channels and people who just want to boondock. That's all they want to do. They want to stay as far away from a city as possible. They don't trust people. They don't want the hubbub and the hustle bustle of it all. They want to be out boondocking all the time. So maybe that's you, and there's nothing wrong with it, nothing at all. I personally don't like to do it all the time, because I do like a city for all the reasons I already explained. But in Arizona, being boondocking, it's really dusty out there, and there's no shade. If I could go up north in the summer and camp out where there's trees so I get shade, oh yeah, now I'm a happy girl too, because I could exercise outside and I could do all of that. Yeah. But another thing that really is important to some of you would be security. Where do you feel the most secure? It might be different states that you feel the most secure. And I've had some people say, oh, I feel so secure in Texas. Texas is the place to be. I didn't feel that secure in Texas because I got pulled over one time in Texas. Scared the crap out of me. Some border patrol, some new gung-ho border patrol. It's another, I talked about it. Yeah, that was a bad experience, right? So, but some of you, like, they might be like, well, I feel the best in New Mexico. Whatever's important to you. A lot of my friends, they don't like California at all. They don't like the laws there. It's too liberal. They don't like the gun laws. Because if you're in California, you are not supposed to be owning a firearm. You can travel. It's called peaceful travel through. And you can go across California, because if you have a firearm that you can get through it. But you're really not supposed to carry a firearm. What I do when I'm there is I lock it up. I lock it up and put the safety lock on it, and then my ammo is in another location, okay? I kind of forget. I'm just going to say that California has stricter gun laws. I'm not going to say, I forget which one it is. I know you can peaceful passage through. Okay, well, let me just reiterate that I'm not exactly sure about that. But there are some of you who love California. I've got my friend Tyler, who's near the ocean, And I also have a good friend, Susan. She's a shout out to Susan. She's been up and down the coast in the Pacific beaches, Pacific Ocean beaches, for quite a while now. She loves it. She just loves it. So that's what's important to Tyler and Susan, and I'm sure some of the other ones. Now, 2 summers ago, I spent almost the whole summer on the coast at the beach. It was wonderful. I don't know if I'll do it again soon, but at that point, the beaches were what was important to me. I wanted to see the Pacific Ocean. I wanted to be near it. I wanted to hear the waves. I wanted to just sit and watch it. And I just wanted to clear my head. It's a very calming, relaxing, and soothing. And it's beautiful. Some of you might want to be close to family. I mean, that's going to gauge in many ways whether you want to be a nomad or not. You are not willing to leave your family or your grandchildren and watching them. You're not willing to leave them for that. So to go out and live on your own out in your vehicle. But if you are a nomad, that's going to also, how important is that? So you're going to stay in areas that are close to them, right? The mountains. I remember when I first met Paul, he said, we were talking about why do you always, every year he would go to Arizona, to Quartzsite. And he said, eventually I want to live somewhere where the mountains are in my backyard. Well, that's why he loves Tucson. He loves Quartzsite. He loves Arizona enough that he became a resident of Arizona. He loves the mountains. That's what's important to him. And of course, you've got Utah and you've got Colorado also that you can go up in the mountains and you can see them. I prefer mountains. But you know what? When I travel from Ohio to Arizona and back and forth, I also kind of like the prairie. I love there's trees after trees after trees. How many trees could be even available in the United States? I mean, like infinity, right? But I loved Missouri and I loved Nebraska and I loved just traveling through it. That, to me, and seeing all the green, that was really beautiful too. But I am partial to mountains. It just depends on what's really important to you, where you want to go. And then next I put down trees. Oh yeah. If you want trees back east, Ohio, Michigan, Missouri, Washington State, Northern California, if trees are your thing, those would be the places you would want to go. Maybe mountains aren't that big a deal to you, or the beach, or the ocean, but you want trees. So what else the forest. Well, that goes with the trees, the forest, yeah. Going on northern Arizona, that's where the forests are. Flagstaff, Williams, oh my gosh, yeah. Trees and forest. Now, I kind of like the hustle bustle of the city. I don't mind it. I don't mind the traffic. I don't mind the people at all. No, I don't want to go to New York City, and no, I don't want to go to LA or Chicago and hang out. I've never been to Chicago. I've never been there. It would be kind of fun just to visit. I don't know if I'd want to drive there, but I'm not that fond of Illinois either. They have very, very strict gun laws, and I have found that driving on the highway in Illinois, I try to avoid it the best I can. They're very strict there. I find that they're very strict, and it kind of makes me uncomfortable. But basically, we're all different. We all have different needs. Why would some people even want to become a nomad? In my last video, I talked about the health, how I became healthier. Now, I have a wonderful good friend, and you know who you are. And he's from Michigan, and he let me know, this isn't Paul, but he let me know when I did a van tour of him, I'll leave the link for that becoming a nomad actually saved his life. During COVID, he did go back again, and he stayed in Michigan on his brother's property. He said he put on like 20, 30 pounds. He doesn't do well living in an area, in a house. He doesn't do well with that, staying in one spot. He needs to have his friends. He eats better. He sleeps better. He just has a much better life, a more interesting life when he's actually out and about. Now, I would say his style is he loves nature and he loves the boondock, but he's one of those, he doesn't mind a city either. He can kind of hang out in the city. He knows where he can park, and he's got a lot of friends. Max kind of follows his friends too. He's very social, and he has a lot of friend base. And I'm proud to call him my friend. Hey, Max. But he kind of likes it both, but he wants to be where his friends are. He finds what his goal is to meet one new person every day. They might not become a close friend of his, but he does like to meet new people every day. So that's what's important to him. Everybody has something that's important to them. And this is going to go on your style of being a van dweller. Mine, I like to stay in one spot for the most part. And I like to save on gas. Here's where I'm at. This is what I always tell the new people who, if you're new to my channel, this is what I say. I am a person who lives her life in my vehicle. It saves me money. It's minimalist living. And I don't mind small spaces. I actually kind of like the small space. I feel kind of cozy in here. And I can move it around a lot. But that doesn't mean because I moved into my minivan that I'm a tourist. I'm going to keep travel. I'm going to go see every monument and every little historical building and everything. That's not my cup of tea. I like to read about things, but that doesn't mean I have to see them face to face and up close. So I am basically somebody who's living her life in a small space. It could be, I consider this my tiny home, but what's cool about my tiny home is it has wheels. That doesn't mean, I did have one person tell me one time, you're just being a parody of a nomad. Well, no, I'm a real nomad, and I have been for 6 years now. I do not have a home. I'm not a fake nomad who has a home and then runs back to her minivan to do videos. And I've heard of people doing that. I've heard that they found out that they do that. No, this is everything that I own is here, except for a few things in storage. But this is how I live my life. And I do it. How do I get nature? I go to parks every day. I go to a park and I hang out in a park. And I'm outside a lot. So inside, I do my videos. I like to do them inside so I can talk. I don't have the traffic and I don't have the wind and I have better lighting. So that's one of the reasons I like to use my studio, which a lot of YouTubers, 99% of all YouTubers actually do the filming inside a building, not just outside. So, well, I hope that this was food for thought for you. I just wanted to bring this up that you can, this food for thought, what to think about. Who are you? What is important to you? Because when you live in a house, you might not think of these things. But once you get out here, it's going to be plain and clear that you're going to need to find out what style you like to do. You can try them all and then come to a meeting of the minds. Even I'm talking to Max. He's been a nomad, I think, really about the same amount of time that I have. And he's now spending just a little bit more time in a town, in a city, so that he can save on gas just a little bit and save some of the wear and tear on his minivan. Okay, everybody, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Go to minivanly.com for neck gaiters and my products. And then I got the book, How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivanly Way. And it's got everything you need in there. It's on Amazon, list upon list. I love you guys. Till tomorrow. Love you.